All right, today we're jumping into a really unique spiritual guide. We're going to look at its map of the entire cosmos and, the huge choice it says every single one of us has to make. Okay, so right off the bat, this text throws us right into this massive conflict. It's all about this core duality, right? Personified by two figures with totally opposite missions. On one side, you've got Jesus, who comes to save people. And on the other, you have Satan, who, well, comes to harm people. Pretty clear cut, or so it seems. But hold on. Just when you think it's a simple good versus evil thing, the text drops this fascinating little detail. It makes it really clear that these two forces, they're not independent. Nope. It says they were both created by God. And that changes everything, doesn't it? It makes the whole dynamic way more complex than just a simple fight. So this brings us to a big question. What does this idea of a cosmic duality, these two opposing yet connected forces, actually mean for how the universe is put together? Let's dive into that. The text has a specific name for this relationship, 2E. It basically means a unified opposition. Think of it like, well, like two sides of the same coin. Jesus and Satan are totally interdependent. You can't have one without the other. It's a package deal in this cosmic view. All right, so we've got these two huge forces at play. The next logical question is, where do we fit in? Where does humanity stand in this grand cosmic structure? Let's take a look at the map. So the source lays out this really clear three-level structure. Up at the top, you've got the higher life spaces. Think heaven. Down at the bottom, the lower life spaces, or hell. And smack dab in the middle, acting as this super important junction, like a cosmic transfer station, that's us, the human world. And this is where it gets really interesting. It breaks down the nature of each realm. So heaven and hell are defined by these pure absolute qualities. You've got truth, goodness, and beauty on one end, and falsity, evil, and ugliness on the other. But our world, the human world, it's a mix. It's where both of those things coexist side by side. Now, here's the real kicker. This whole setup, it's not static. It's a dynamic, living system that's all interconnected. And the text is super clear about this. For the whole universe to work, all three of these realms have to be populated. I mean, it says if hell were empty, heaven would just disappear. And if the human world was empty, the whole exchange stops. The system just grinds to a halt. Every part is absolutely crucial. Okay, so this cosmic map, it's not just some abstract layout of the universe. It's actually the backdrop for a huge choice. A choice that it says every single person in the human world has to make. We're talking about two paths, leading to two totally different destinies. And what I find really fascinating is how this choice is framed. It's all about what kind of food you consume. On the one hand, you've got the food of Jesus, which is all about the spirit, things like morality, belief, spirituality. And on the other hand, you've got the food of Satan, which is, well, it's matter. It's money, status, fame, power, the things of this world. And the text uses this really powerful metaphor to drive the point home. It says that the material path, the one focused on stuff, it's like a wide, spacious highway. It's easy, it's comfortable, and a lot of people are on it. But it leads down. The spiritual path, though, that's a narrow, difficult road. It's cramped, and not many people even find it. But it's the only one that leads up. Okay, so let's say you choose that difficult, narrow path. What then? How are you supposed to actually walk it? Well, the cool thing is, the text doesn't just leave you hanging. It gives a pretty specific set of instructions for the journey. And the very first instruction is, wow, it's a tough one. It's a complete radical shift in how you deal with other people. We're not just talking about tolerating your enemies. We're talking about actively loving them and praying for them. I mean, that is a really, really high bar. Next up, the focus shifts inward. It's all about personal accountability. And it comes with a pretty stark warning, right? Basically, however you judge other people, that's the exact same yardstick that's going to be used on you. Whew, something to think about. And this one connects right back to that whole food idea we talked about earlier. The instruction is crystal clear. Stop storing up treasures here on earth. Instead, store up treasures in heaven. Why? Because where your treasure is, that's where your heart is going to be. Simple as that. And just to really, really hammer this point home, the text gives us that famous, almost comically impossible image, a camel going through the eye of a needle. It's just a powerful way of saying, look, being attached to wealth makes this journey incredibly, incredibly difficult. So you hear all this, and you have to wonder, right? If you're supposed to love your enemies, and being rich is a huge obstacle, what's the actual key? What's the secret to navigating this narrow path? And the answer the text gives is maybe not what you'd expect. It's not about doing some specific thing. It's about an internal state of being. It says you have to turn around and become like a young child. It's all about that perspective of humility and trust and just dependence. And then it boils down the core ethical principle for the whole journey into one single powerful rule. You know the one. Treat others the way you want to be treated. The text basically says, this is the summary of everything. Finally, we're left with this incredible metaphor about the foundation of your life. Are you the person who hears all this stuff and actually does it, building your house on solid rock so it can handle anything? Or are you the person who hears it all and just doesn't do it, building on shifting sand, just waiting for the whole thing to come crashing down? And that leaves us with one last, really provocative question to chew on. According to this worldview, every single day, the choices we make, what we decide to value, how we treat people, where we put our heart, those aren't just choices. They're the actual building materials for our eternal destiny. So the question isn't just rock or sand. It's, where is your house built?